Gossip, and while road racing is going into hibernation, it's just the opposite on the speedways. Sydney is the busiest city, hosting the 125th Test match between England and Australia on New Year's Day at the showgrounds, plus a string of international sprint and speed car meetings over the holiday period. And according to Mike Raymond, it's amazing, the kids you meet at the skids.
Oval trackers, the racing ritual starts well before sundown as cars are prepped and finely tuned in the pits. Out on the track, the surface is slowly transformed from ploughed field to pavement plasticine. Second-guessing a circuit is part of the speedway psyche and a piece of cake really for the experienced clairvoyance of play.
It's fairly wet now. I think it'll hook up around the second lot of heats, and then I think it'll dry out for the feature race.
For Peter Jackson Premiership leader Peter Crompton, keeping track is easy stuff, though not quite as simple for this first night driver working the track packing duties in Sid Moore's number 77 car. Look familiar? Well, put it this way, he's at home in the great outdoors.
The only way to make it work for yourself is to be absolutely on it all the time, and of course when you're a novice you don't understand what you can get away with, so you're not on it all the time. So it's, to some extent, it's a frightening experience, and you know, the few laps that I've just done are the first few laps I've ever done in anger in a sprint car, so the old heart's pounding, and I mean, you know, it's different, all right. I don't know where to begin to describe it, but it's pretty bizarre.
Neil Crompton jumped at the chance to do a guest spot with the CR&D team at Sydney's Parramatta Raceway last weekend. He was afforded no cockpit time in the car before the green flag dropped for his first race. Sure, he started at the rear, but was on the pace from the green. Never experienced an anxious moment.
I don't know what it's like for the rest of them, but for me it's sort of, you know, my heart's gone off the ECG scale. These things are unbelievable. I don't know how much this thing's got in terms of grunt, but someone's sprouting figures of 500 or 600 horsepower, and I'd be really happy if it had about 180.
There's no violence in the pits here. Is that any bonus?
Yeah, well, the violence makes it sometimes, you know. Like, it sort of made me a lot bigger personality because of the off-track shenanigans going on in Suzuka, but everyone seems to be a lot more friendly here.
Premiership honours were evenly divided between speed car backmarkers Bob Wood, Stephen Graham and Rod Bowen, who should afford triple national champion Warren Eakins a warm welcome to the STP State Plate at the circuit next Friday. A spectacular exit from the sprint car main by Gary Rush Jr. closed up the field under a yellow and enabled Valvoline teamster Stephen Gall to run down early tearaway Justin Manique, moving third to the hard drafting Craft and a mighty ninth to Neil's on wheels.
It's always a test to set the car up, to try to suit the conditions, and if you can't bitch about it, it's out there for everyone, so get on with it and do the job.
Across in Perth, Sydney drivers Gary Rush, Brooke Tacknell and Gary Brazier blitzed the opposition last weekend at the Claremont Speedway. Tacknell gave Rush the brush on the opening tour of the 30-lap trophy race and set about putting a big gap between himself and the 10 times national champion. After a brief but intense struggle, Brazier got on top of David Anderson in their battle for third. With America's Western World Series winner Leyland McSpadden due to start his Aussie tour in Sydney a week from Wednesday, both Tacknell and Rush have hit peak form at the right time. This race appeared the exclusive property of young Brook, but as he began to edge wide, Rush smothered him with a no-nonsense pass down the inside. From there, 10-star GR was home in a canter as Tacknell repassed Brazier to take second and give New South Wales another trifecta. Meanwhile, at Phoenix, Arizona, the second round of the Slick World Series produced one-lane racing after the track set as hard as concrete. Brothers Samming and Jeff Swedell split the qualifying hits as 13-time world champion Steve Kinzel was KO'd from behind. What was a three-groove track a week ago deteriorated into a single-lane drag strip which suited Jeff Swedell superbly. He closed the gate on the opposition to take the checkered flag for his second straight win in the 10-race series. Mike Raymond in Circle.
In the latest round of Speedway action at